Hi, thanks for joining me. I'm Kat Delaney and this is today's tarot. So, like we've been having, we do have some presence of the planetary bodies showing up in our reading today. The very first card that we have actually is the Wheel of Fortune, which is a card that's all about change and big change. As you can see, this is like a shift. The Wheel of Fortune is ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter is considered the Santa Claus of the zodiac. So it's not necessarily a bad change, but it definitely is a big change because Jupiter gives us a really big energy, and right now he's actually square to Venus. So this could bring about some big shifts in our relationships and things that we really care about in an emotional sense. The second card that we have for today is the Fool, and the Fool is ruled by Uranus. This is also a card of big change, but this is a card of new beginnings, and new beginnings that are inspired by the breath of God, quite literally. Like something that you've always wanted to do, something that's like, you know what, this is what makes me feel alive, this is what my heart feels growth in doing, and this is the direction that I want to go in. Right now, Uranus is in Taurus, and so things that have brought us stability in our life, but that may not have been the most healthy for us, are undergoing a lot of change, and they've been undergoing a lot of change for the last year. This is because Uranus has been sitting in Taurus for the last year and a half or 2 years around, because we're approaching the end of this year already. Oh my goodness. But we've had a lot of things that we'd seen that were going to be stable in our lives change. Last February, for instance, I had a car that I'd only had for a year get totaled by a dump truck, and then a month later, I had another big shift in my life. So I've had a lot of big shifts in my life for the last 2 years, and we will continue to have big shifts in our lives for the next 4 years or so, for 4 to 5 years, as Uranus moves through Taurus and undergoes different aspects with other planets. But this is a new beginning. This is a new beginning that's an inspired new beginning. And so consider that not everything that changes is going to lead us to something bad. A lot of times, Uranus, when it affects our life, the energy is moving outworn conditions that got in our way of progress. And so this change and this shift is opening something in our lives. And what's important is, this third card, which is the Five Pentacles. The Five Pentacles is all about how we look at things and the perspective of how we look at things. If we look at things as a place of loss or a place of prosperity in the sense of thankfulness and spiritual becoming. Because when we are going through changes in our lives and things, in one perspective aren't ideal, we have this conditioning that typically looks at things as, oh, well, that's too bad, or, oh, that's, like, why me, and it's not all about why me. Like, we don't really know what the ultimate outcome is, and Uranus and Jupiter are creating big changes that are opening up bigger changes in our lives. And how do we look at that? Do we look at that as a place of gratitude? Like, okay, now I see these things are moving out of my way, so I can move forward in this new direction. I didn't want to leave the day on this card, so I drew a few more cards. So the next card that we got is the Three of Pentacles, and this is the Master Craftsman. This is someone who has a vision, knows what they're working towards, knows what they're building, and they hold to it, and it's something other people witness. So as we go through this change and this shift, remember that you are also an influence and an impression for other people, and people will learn from you and be inspired by you and how you become and how you continue to build your vision. And it is about holding the vision, right? This is the Sage of, or the Page of Wands, which is associated with the Archer and Sagittarius, the one who really sets their aim for where they want to go and holds true to it. And it's important to stay grounded and anchored. This is Taurian energy. Again, this brings up Uranus because Uranus is sitting in Taurus right now, but this is a fixed earth energy. So, you know, taking care of the body through all of the change is really important so that you can manage the amount of stress that comes up in daily life and the shifts and the things that come up as far as conversations and, you know, basic maintenance and self-care and being practical about it is really important right now. And having boundaries, like the Seven of Wands is a person who is like, you know what, I am holding my wand, I have my vision, I'm on my quest, and there are a bunch of other wands that are kind of charging up against it, and this person is holding their boundary because they know what they're building for, right? They know their vision and what they're building towards, and they're holding fast to it, and they're like, yeah, okay, I can do all of these other things, but this, you know, this thing that I've been inspired by, that I have a vision for, I really do have to hold fast to that and not look down on my path and really, you know, hold a boundary with it. And the last card that we have for today is another major arcana. This is the Justice card, and the Justice card is also associated with Libra. And so this brings to mind, you know, what's actually interesting is we have Jupiter as the leading card, and then we have Libra, which is ruled by Venus, as our last card. And these two planets right now are in square relationship and are you know, so they're in a challenging aspect right now. And the question is, well, what, you know, like this big energy that, you know, lends to our relationships, and at the same time consider that that can be, you know, beneficial, like that can create lots of new openings and not lots of new shifts. So we'll see a lot of shifts in the relationship arena of people's lives here coming up soon. And then we also have this influence of Uranus, and Venus is moving out of Libra today. So it's in its ruling sign of Libra, but it's moving into Scorpio. And because it's moving into Scorpio, it's moving into opposition of Uranus. And so you have these two energies, you know, or really that's how my chart looks, but you have these two energies that are creating kind of this, you know, tension and, you know, perspective and new ways of seeing things. And it's important to, you know, make sure we talk about things because it's, you know, we have Mercury that's getting ready to move out of Scorpio too, so we have a lot of transformation happening and a lot of transformation around relationships. And with Uranus, it's really, you know, creating openings in outworn conditions that haven't been working out for years or, you know, for a really long time, like whether it's how we see things, how we interact with people, you know, what we're able to like what actually makes us feel good. Like we're creating shifts and changes in our lives, whether we're starting new things